Walski.
Al Walski.
Jump in and join the club and float this Whiskey River Reservoir. We're gonna spend the weekend in the deep end of a diving ball.
Good morning, everybody. Tuesday morning.
It's Tuesday morning.
It's Tuesday morning. Hey, Shanda. Hey, you want to introduce our panel this morning?
We got a great panel this morning. Stevie King, Rednexonomics, has joined us, and we have Keith Hayes for the first time. Welcome.
Great to be here.
So, hey, Stevie, tell us about your channel, and then we'll have Keith give us a little background and go from there.
Okay. Well, my channel is Redneckonomics, and usually I just talk about what's most important in the news and things we can do to change what's wrong with what's going on.
The world.
Yeah.
There's
a lot to pick from.
There is.
All right, Keith, tell us about you, a little bit about you.
Okay, well, I spend a lot of time on YouTube these days, looking at different channels, watching you guys. Consider myself progressive because the world needs change. We're in deep shit. We need to fix a lot of things. We got too many people. We got problems with the environment. Originally, I got into things really long time ago, concerned about peak oil and resource depletion issues. And, I got to wondering why people aren't concerned about very obvious problems that we should be thinking about, like the future. And so I got involved online, years ago and started a website, which just totally independent. If you want to find it, it's chasingthesquirrel.com. I'm K-Dog. But enough of that. I plugged it. And so I'm here, to talk about whatever we're going to talk about, because I think we're pretty much all on the same side of the fence.
So you say that you got involved with the peak oil. Did you ever follow Michael C. Rappaport or Collapse and CollapseNet? He was a reporter for the LA Times back in the 80s and 90s that actually broke the CIA running drugs to Freeway Ricky. But anyways, he had this big push for peak oil back in the mid 2000s. And that's where I woke up. That's how I woke up. So I always ask when people say the peak oil.
I know about Michael Rupert. Are you talking about Michael Rupert?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. He was a troubled soul.
He was a troubled soul, but he woke a lot of people up.
Yes. We miss him.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I do miss him.
For sure. Well, I'm glad you guys are connected through that aspect of dialogue, because I don't even remember doing that with a peak oil myself. I think I was gardening at the time.
Well, the problem's still here. It rhymes with climate change, what I should say, refer to as global heating.
Yeah.
Well, and he absolutely called what was going to happen. 20 years ago, he was saying that we would move to the sand tar, in the pipelines, and that's exactly what we're seeing. And I actually have a report on the deck since we canceled the Keystone a couple of days ago, or Biden did. Canadian Parliament is losing their collective shit because that was a lot of money for Canada, and they're pushing back on us.
So the Keystone he canceled the Keystone deal. So what does that mean? He's going to come back with the TPP and integrate it in that form?
I don't know. We'll go over the clip, and yeah, I just think that it's window dressing.
Okay. Well, welcome, Stevie, Keith, everybody. Let's get rolling into this. We have a couple of clips here. We split this one up. This is my only rising today, but this dropped yesterday afternoon, and let's just play it, and then we'll go from there.
Here's what he said yesterday.
Well, I proposed that because it was bipartisan, I thought it would increase the prospects of passage, the additional $1,400 in direct cash payment to folks. Well, there's legitimate reason for people to say, do you have the lines drawn the exact right way? Should it go to anybody making over X number of dollars, or why? I'm open to negotiate those things.
Crystal, you played audio here. $2,000 for every man, woman, and child. What
Immediately.
happened? That's what it means. Immediately. It's day, 6 of the presidency now? I mean, nothing is going on. And if you think that a lack of filibuster or organizing thing is going to bring this, you're a fool. That's, again, what I'll be talking about. In terms of the timeline, they can't commit to anything here. It's insane.
It's the most Democratic Party thing ever. Like, no one has even really pushed you on this, and you're already like, oh, of course, we'll bend, we'll do whatever you want. Let's just keep in mind, $2,000 checks, not $1,400 checks, $2,000 checks have 80% support in the country. What the hell are you afraid of? It's insane. You made one really clear promise. $2,000 checks. Immediately, not, well, maybe it's 14.
That's just half of it. We've got another follow-up clip behind it. But let's start with Stevie. What do you think about that $2,000 check shuck and jive thing he has going on?
It's garbage. I mean, we need back pay. I mean, there's a year's worth of rent that people owe, or mortgages, and bills. And $2,000 and then going back on that, it's more than a slap in the face. I mean, this is, it's putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah. Keith, do you want $2,000? Or do you want $1,400? Or do you want $800? Or do you want $200?
I would like us to get what Europe gets, where we're basically getting 80% of what we had before this shit started. It's horrible. What are they waiting for? Are they waiting so they could give more money to Wall Street in this? They got to pen that in because $2,000 to every American's no big deal. Let's face it. And what's this thing about an upper line? What should it be? 100K? Why didn't you just say 100K then?
Yeah,
be done with it. He's stalling.
Yeah,
he needs to remember who voted for him.
He won't.
He owes a lot of minorities.
Wasn't me, man.
Some love here, and so show the love now.
Yeah.
You're elected.
Well,
he's willing to negotiate 14 now, is what he's saying.
Yeah, 14, but he's going to negotiate that down. My target is half of that. It's going to be 700. Here's the second part of that, and this will bring to light some of it. Enjoy, like I did.
Negotiate. Here's what he said yesterday.
Well, I propose that we
Let's try it again.
Negotiate. Here's what he said yesterday.
What the heck, man?
Oh, you got punked.
Negotiate. Here's what he said yesterday.
All right, let me just move it up then. It didn't take. Do you have that happen very often,
Negotiate.
Shanda?
Here's what he said yesterday.
Yep.
Well, I propose that because it was bipartisan, I thought it would increase the prospects of passage. The additional.
Maybe we'll get to in March or possibly April. Maybe we'll even negotiate more and means test it down so that even fewer Americans ultimately benefit from this. No. And how come? Where's the negotiation on the other side? Because you have a lot of progressives who would like to see $2,000 a month go out every month for the duration of the pandemic at least. But I don't see his willingness to negotiate on that side of the ledger. It's just instantly caving in an insane way on an issue that is so popular. Like, it is such a no-brainer to me to put Republicans and, yes, even conservative Democrats on the spot by bringing $2,000 checks, a clean bill for $2,000 checks to the floor of the Senate, like today, immediately. And if they go back, because you have a lot of Republican senators on the record supporting them, if they go back on their word, put them in a tough spot.
At least 6, and then run. Let's say Marco Rubio didn't actually show up. Run those ads against him. Whenever he's up in the U.S. Senate, he would lose. It's Florida. It's still on the margins-ish. Same thing down in Georgia. You want Raphael Warnock to stay in the U.S. Senate? You better pass those damn checks.
Look at what happened with Joe Manchin.
Yes.
Because I think it's so instructive, right? He came out and was like, absolutely not on $2,000 checks. He immediately had to walk it back, had ads run against him at home, and changed his position because this issue is so popular. You have them right where you want them. And why wouldn't you want to be seen as the guy who was really out there fighting for $2,000, not going, well, we can negotiate it down and we'll get to it later and I'm going to hear these concerns and let's means test it down, et cetera. But so that, if you want to know where the real stumbling block in the United States Senate is, It isn't right now the filibuster. If you had a party that was actually committed to really delivering and fighting for big change, it could be the filibuster. But the real stumbling block right now is Democratic establishment leadership, and in particular, President Joe Biden.
No.
Yeah, the real stumbling block is. But as you know, and Stevie, this is close to your heart, Joe Manchin was one of the 2 senators that voted against getting rid of the filibuster yesterday. So this is just one more issue that is going to give the Democrats an excuse for not going ahead with populist legislation. That filibuster rule is bullshit. That always gives the minority more power than the majority. I don't care what these assholes say. That's a rigged system, and they're working together. We have one party in this country, the duopoly, working for the wealthy and screwing the people. So anyway, how did you think that ended up?
What was that?
How did you think that whole thing ended up with them on the $2,000 stimulus checks?
Oh, and I've been warning everybody about Joe Manchin pretty much since I started my channel. I've been saying, like, look, this doesn't just affect us here. Like, this guy affects people in California, in Yemen, everywhere. Like, this guy is a danger.
He's a Republican.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Republican, and you have people like Elizabeth Warren sitting there propping him up when he's poisoning people here. Absolutely. And now it's coming back to bite everybody.
Keith, are we going to see $2,000 or what?
Oh, well, probably eventually, by the end of the month, maybe. I don't know. I agree with you. There's just one party in America, and it's a corporate party. And, I think that when they always combine it with other things, when they have enough other things in that bill, then they'll pass it. But
an omnibus bill, and those other things are giveaways, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's they won't pass it until they get enough giveaways to make it worth their while. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, yeah. That's another thing, because they should be stating we're going to get you a clean bill with the stimulus for the people, which you should have every month, but we are owned lock, stock, and barrel by the wealthy, the insurance lobby, military industrial complex, et al. So we're going to keep screwing you. What I'm seeing here with this is Biden letting himself get his pockets picked by everybody with that bipartisan bullshit rhetoric once again. Well, I thought if I brought it to the Senate, and have a bipartisan thing, it would have a much better chance of passing. Bullshit. You do that through budget reconciliation with Bernie and get it done. Don't screw around. This guy is supposed to be a leader. He needs to show strong leadership out of the goddamn gate. And don't give me, he's only been in office for 6 days. Bullshit. He needed to be doing this. Yeah, he's been in office his whole life. Very, very good, Shanda. So that's my.
Out in a national emergency.
Yes.
This is a national emergency.
Yes, it is. It's an emergency. And I'm still saying this week we're going to see the economy crash, or the first week of March.
March.
You watch. Okay.
March.
Over to you, Shanda.
So this is Bernie talking about, this was yesterday, his State of the Union, and forcing it to the floor.
We have a new report from Axios, and they're citing one Bernard Sanders here. Senator Bernie Sanders, incoming chair of the Senate Budget Committee, who caucuses with the Democrats, told CNN State of the Union on Sunday that Democrats plan to push for a coronavirus relief package through the chamber with a simple majority. Budget reconciliation would allow Democrats to forego the Senate's 60-vote requirement and could potentially speed up the next relief package for millions of unemployed Americans. Democrats hold the 50-50 split in the Senate, with Vice President Kamala Harris serving as the tie-breaking vote. Quote, what we cannot do is wait weeks and weeks and months to go forward. We have got to act now, Sanders said. So more of his quotes here. We're going to use reconciliation. That's 50 votes in the Senate plus the vice president to pass legislation desperately needed by working families in this country right now. When asked if he wants a relief bill passed before the former President Trump's impeachment trial begins the week of February 8th, he said, we've got to do everything. This is not, you don't have the time to sit around weeks on impeachment and not get vaccines into the arms of people.
And that would provide cover for the scumbags, the weak-willed senators out there like Manchin and stuff, because
Yep, exactly.
that would cut them out of the negotiating part. It's just the 50-50 split, and using budget reconciliation, they don't have a say on, on the incrementalism that they're proposing in the first place, which is totally screwed up.
Do you think this is the route they're going to go, or are they just putting Bernie out there as eye candy to preoccupy us while they're cleaning our pockets up?
Stevie?
It just feels like more, good guy Bernie, feeding us some hope when.
It's hard to
ultimately we're
trust
gonna get
Bernie
screwed.
anymore, right?
Trust,
Like,
exactly.
I have no trust in Bernie anymore.
Yeah.
He's hard to trust.
I'll say it
That's
again. Prove to me Bernie isn't controlled opposition, please. Please, I want you to.
Exactly.
Please. So, Keith, do you have any expansion on that?
Can't do it. Well, just he goes so far. He seems to have the right words to a point, but then it stops, and it's the same thing with him over and over again. So I think what Chanda said, trust is a word, and he's window dressing. He's
I
the
think
good
so, too.
cop, good cop, bad cop of the duopoly party.
Yep.
Whether he will admit it or not, but I want to love the guy, and I love him in the sense of what he started. But damn it, we are going to have to finish this. I'm telling you guys over and over again. Okay, Shanda, you got this one.
Look at the smirk on his face. This is the first time I'd seen this picture. This is how you feel when real friends look. This is how your real friends look when it's time to shine. Yeah, that smirk on his face isn't because he's proud of Biden.
Yeah, I'm sure he had that same smirk on his face when he was talking to Clyburn when they rigged the primary.
He's excited because, the neoliberalism and the Clintonism will continue on for another 4 years.
Yeah, and by the way, if you didn't catch Clyburn this weekend, complimenting George Bush for the backhanded compliment about him getting Biden in there against Bernie, it's pretty sickening. So
Right, it is sickening.
It is horrendous. So Clyburn's part of the problem. What is this, Shanda? Are you going to run over some people in Tacoma?
So I don't have the chat up. I don't know if Cheeseman's in the chat, but I've been getting these from Cheeseman. And so 2 nights ago in Tacoma, Washington, we had a police officer ram into a crowd of, they weren't protesters because they were there for some kind of street race or something.
Yeah.
But I brought one clip of what happened. It's kind of hard to see. You'll see flashing lights coming at you, and then the cop car just literally is ramming. There's worse videos out there. I didn't bring them because I couldn't find them, but it is horrendous watching this cop just driving over bodies.
Yeah, the worst videos, they'd pull it down anyway, so
Right.
That's good.
Oh my god! 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 Oh my god!
I gotta tell you something, Shanda. I saw the worst videos. He didn't just gently push the car forward.
No,
he
he-
backed up and gunned it.
He backed up and he gunned it into a crowd of probably 50 people. And you saw his car literally driving over bodies.
Yeah,
Now,
like speed
thankfully,
bumps.
nobody was killed. I think there's 3 people that were injured in it. And the officer has been placed on paid administrative leave while they investigate it. But this same officer has a record of doing this. Apparently, he hit an elderly woman before. I don't know when before, but he was still allowed to be on the force. And Tacoma is very volatile right now just because they've got so much going on there with the corrupt police department. I mean, you can watch Cops or any, these cop shows for the last 20 years, and Tacoma PD is one of the worst in the country. And just last night, they killed a man with a knife in a domestic violence call. So these police are just killing. I mean, there's so many cases of them killing civilians in Tacoma. And so there was response and backlash from the community. And here's what it looked like last night in downtown Tacoma.
go.
In Jesus' name. Yes. The end is come. The end is here. Hey, how you doing? Just at least 4 more hours.
They're all trying to jump in,
What was that last one? What was that? Somebody was fighting back or something?
Well, that guy was out there with a megaphone chanting about it being the end of the world. I don't know if he's a religious fundamentalist or what.
He might be right.
He might be right, exactly. But these guys weren't going to have it. So the next clip is how the police turned out in force to kind of put this down.
Oh, okay. I'm sure they came with peaceful intentions.
Always.
Yeah, but all they have to do is stop doing what they're doing and they won't have this shit.
So, Tacoma houses the Northwest Detention Center, and that is where the immigrants are held here in Washington, and I think all the way down from Portland. So we've had a lot of encounters with the Tacoma police. They are undertrained. They are overstaffed. I mean, they are a problem. But, you know, I think what you're seeing, we're going to see a lot more of, because these people, this isn't just because people are pissed off that a cop ran somebody over. These people are losing their homes. They're losing their jobs. They're, you know, all these underlying things are bubbling. And I think we're going to see more of this in more cities.
Yeah, a lot of people, we got a lot of pushback. I don't know, Keith, Stevie, if you saw in some of the groups, but we had a lot of people saying, well, if they get in front of a cop car and they're warned, then they deserve what they get. Since when, my question is, do we make the police judge, juries, and executioners? And those police cars do have a thing called a radio. Hey, I'm hemmed in. I don't want to hurt any civilians, even though they might be acting stupid. Can you guys come and let's clear them out in a rational way? That press release on that particular incident, I'm going to call it attempted murder, was that the police officer was in fear for his life, and that he got out of the situation as he thought he should. I don't believe backing it up, revving the engine, and gunning it through a crowd is the way to go. That is a deadly weapon, and I hope that he is no longer on the force for that. Personally, I wasn't there, but I still don't care. What happened to courage in law enforcement in those respects? What do you say, Stevie?
I mean, that guy had so many options, and I guarantee you, when the dashboard footage comes out, you know, if there wasn't a accident with it, that is going to show that there was no weapons, or they weren't, trying to bash in the windows. They were just around the cop car. And I worked in the trauma ICU. I've seen injuries where people have been run over and hit with cars, and it is brutal. I mean, it pulverizes the inside of you. So for this cop to go and run over these people, the community that he's supposed to be protecting, I mean, it's despicable. I mean, it should be jail time.
Keith, what do you think?
I agree. I mean, that was uncalled for. Stevie made a good observation there. They were not a violent crowd. They looked like they were partying.
Right.
You know, they should have been probably broken up. We're in the time of COVID. They shouldn't have been doing what they're doing. But, you know, at the same time, they weren't a violent crowd. Now, you know, police are a complicated issue. My feeling is, I was born in Minneapolis. I grew up in Minneapolis.
Oh, wow.
Years ago, but not northern suburbs.
All right.
Okay. But see, with the time I grew up, it was, you know, like the Canadian Mounties, you know, or the police where I grew up, if they pulled you over when I first got my driver's license, sir, hello, sir, how are you doing? It was like, there was this respect for people, professionalism that I really haven't seen on the West Coast since I moved out here, and I've been out here for 40 years, you know, and so it was like a night and day difference when I moved out here, so you know, that guy should not be enforced. These people should have training. They're professionals, and they should be held to professional standards, and you know, and we don't have that now, you know, and that's it.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah. So some say there was a myriad of arguments supporting the police action, like when the officer tells you to do something, do it. But Stevie, I think you're right. I don't think this crowd was violent in the sense of throwing skateboards through the window. And it maybe we'll be wrong. Maybe they were breaking the windows or something. I don't know. But then again, what is the best way to evade a crowd? It's not, in my opinion, to back up and then gun the engine. You might gun the engine acting like you're going to spook them and they might get out of the way, but you're supposed to push it forward at a slow rate and try and get out of there. But number one, I would have called. You can't tell me there was only one police car in that immediate area either. I mean, that was...
They always, there's always like 2 or 3 of them at a time.
Yeah,
that was clearly wrong.
Yeah, that was, you know, we are convicting him from what we see, and I know Shanda and I have seen the live footage of the car going over those human speed bumps, and fortunately for those people that are still alive, they didn't go over their head because, as Stevie will tell you, they would have been dead. They would have crushed the skull. So, unless a miracle happened. What do we got next, Shanda?
God. Governor Gavin Newsom has lifted California's lockdown.
Fancy that.
Wonder why.
Fancy that. Oh my gosh. It's funny how you get the
California's lifting its regional stay-at-home order amid positive signs of a slower spread. Now, this comes as efforts to recall California Governor Gavin Newsom nears its required threshold to qualify for a statewide ballot. So how does the pushing the governor's recall maybe influence what his latest decision is on COVID-19 and lockdowns? I want to go to former San Diego Mayor Kevin Faulconer, who is part of the recall effort and has launched an exploratory committee for a potential governor run, and he joins us now. By the way, we did reach out to the governor's office, Governor Newsom's office, to see if he could join us today, but they did decline. So I got to tell you, Kevin, it's a lot of people saying it's a pretty odd timing when you consider the depths and the throes of COVID-19 right now, as opposed to mid-December when these lockdowns were put in place. It would seem, if you're following the science, now would not be the time to lift them. Your thoughts?
Well, that's the problem. Science has not been the major indicator here in California. State that's locked down the most, and I'll tell you, Charles, as somebody who's been very outspoken on the need to save lives and livelihoods, what we haven't seen from this governor is a calibrated approach that can accomplish that. Look, we've had some businesses in California that have been open and shut 5 different times. The fact that we had outdoor dining shut these past several months, again, when there was no science behind the transmission of the virus in outdoor dining settings, I think speaks volumes. So what we saw again today was a shifting of the goalposts, not based on common sense and science. That's why so many Californians up and down the state are frustrated and at their wits' end.
Those Fox.
That's brand coming from Fox News.
Fox
isn't it?
News, yeah. It's like,
The hypocrisy.
see?
Science, Fox News.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, they say they're going to recall him, and all of a sudden, all these businesses that had to have their outside dining areas shut down, especially when he's going to fancy restaurants and hanging out in Hawaii and shit. The hypocrisy with this guy just knows no bounds.
Stevie, do you think that the two new strains of COVID that are up in the Pacific Northwest right now are going to work their way down to California and spread? And do you think it's a good idea for them to be opening stuff or no?
I mean, it's hard to tell. I mean, there was new strains that came out back in the summer.
Yeah.
I remember them talking about it then. And so it just seems like no matter what, we're not getting the actual science. I mean, there is actual science and real ways of like combating this and figuring things out, real like actual precautions that we can take. But the thing is that they're not doing any of that because that's not their motivation. If it was about health and safety, we would have healthcare right now. Like that is not their priority whatsoever. We would be getting at least $2,000 a month. We would be getting healthcare, but they don't care about our health and safety. So who knows? I guess they'll see how it plays out.
Keith, do you believe it's a big club and we ain't in it? Was that what they're telling us?
Totally. Totally. And it's a very small club too. There's about 2,000 people in it. I got into this. I wanted to find out who was running the world. And it turns out there's like, $70 billion of investment money. And then there's these people that run that money and they fund things and they go to the same schools. They have to go to the same private clubs and we ain't in it.
We ain't in it.
Amber
King gave a stat last night. Amber King gave us a stat. She said that if we had the Canadian healthcare system, that there would be 100,000 less dead Americans, less dead in the sense of not being dead. So I believe that as well. It's about the shitty healthcare we've had for the last 4 decades that has brought us to this point today. And if you think that this pandemic is just a one-off, with the way the toxins and everything is going nowadays, and Shanda, do you agree? Are we headed for some pandemics that might make this one look good?
Well, we called it 8 months ago that as soon as a vaccine was released, we were going to see mutant strains and more variant strains, and that's exactly what we're seeing. That's exactly what the news is reporting. They're 70% more contagious. They're 30% more deadly. I mean, it's almost like it was planned.
Yeah, plandemic. Is that where they get plandemic from, Joey?
It's almost like it was planned, but it's really not. What's happened here is you've got millions of people that have been in everybody who gets infected is a petri dish.
Right.
And so you're going to get a Kansas strain, you're going to get a California strain if it goes on long enough.
Right.
It's just going to keep happening until you lower the numbers.
Yeah.
If you get the numbers low, then they're going to become more rare. It's proportional to how many human petri dishes are out there.
What were you going to say, Stevie?
The problem is that we're not getting any accurate information. And the people that are giving us information can't be trusted.
Right.
And they don't even listen to their own advice when you've got Gavin Newsom and having his parties. My governor was caught having a maskless party, and Pelosi getting her hair done. They're all it's like they're not even worried about it. And what they're doing is they're just using this, despite the effects that it has on us, they're using it to line their own pockets and to gain more control over us, take away rights.
Well, and on top of that, we're seeing more ITP, which is immune thrombocytopenic purpura. That's the reaction that's killing some people when they get the vaccination. And there's other, autoimmune disorders out there that's killing those people. With these new strains, I would say that percentage is going to go up as well. So again, the whole thing stinks. And we're going to keep talking about it until the next strain of whatever comes. You've got a meme here.
Yeah, it says plurocracy is when it takes only 50 votes to give 600 billionaires a 1.7 trillion tax cut, but 60 votes to give 140 million Americans a pay raise to $15 an hour. And I'm going to add in 2025 because that's what the proposal is.
Yeah, in 2025. By that time, it should be what, 35 bucks an hour by
Right.
then.
We've been screaming since 2010 for 15 an hour. 2013, many of the neo-lib Dems like Patty Murray and Cantwell all ran on it. And that was almost 10 years ago. And if they do pass it for 2025, it'll have taken them 20 freaking years.
Yeah,
Get us a pay raise.
we can pick on Murray and Cantwell because there are senators and there are representatives. Although they don't represent us, they represent the Microsofts and the Boeings and the Lockheed Martins. That's who they represent. So. Raytheon, Lloyd Austin. Corporations. What do we have from Oxfam?
This is a call to tax the rich in other countries because they get it.
Oh, are you going to see this on MSNBS? I don't think so.
Oh, hell no.
A new Oxfam report has revealed how the world's rich are riding out the pandemic in luxury. More than 100 million people are at the risk of extreme poverty. Healthcare workers, market vendors, and small businesses are struggling to pay their bills. It could take more than a decade to return to pre-pandemic poverty levels. But the billionaires have had no such problem. The collective wealth of billionaires rose $3.9 trillion between March and December last year. The 10 richest men saw their wealth increase by $540 billion. This would be enough to lift the entire world out of poverty. It could also pay for vaccination for everyone on Earth.
We know that 1,000 billionaires recovered their pandemic losses within 9 months.
Jesus.
For the world's millions of poor people, it will take more than 10 years to come back to pre-pandemic levels. So that's a huge gap, and this inequality is just rising. So to redistribute, we need to make sure we are taxing appropriately. And with that, we would raise enough funds to make sure we protect everybody.
Novel fucking idea, huh?
Yeah, I love the accent.
They got it right.
They got it right. Sounds familiar. I'm going to work on my English accent or my Indian accent. I really like that report. It's the same thing with Bezos and Gates and Musk and the rest of them. They, what did Bezos get? He got like what, $500 billion within 3 months.
Him and Elon are just going back and forth. Elon took over as the #1 richest man last month, and then Bezos took back over 2 weeks later. They're just kind of head to head. Who's going to be the most powerful, richest man in the world?
What's the mental disorder there when you have that much money and it wouldn't shake you at all to take care of some of these larger problems? Would that be using your money and wealth to socialize the country? Is that what they're afraid of?
It sounds like addiction.
Yeah, I agree.
It really does. They're addicted to money. I mean, when it's all the classic signs. Pursuing your addiction, no matter what the cost, hurting everyone around you. I mean, just whatever you can do to get your next fix, your next, bump in stock prices, whatever it is that they got to do. I mean, they'll do it. They don't care. I mean,
you nailed it on the head.
The bus.
Yeah,
ridiculous consumption.
Yeah, you're exactly.
They can't have enough. It's a matter of social position. So
Right.
I think you did a report on that, Shanda, at one time.
Yeah, it's greed. I just watched a really great documentary over on DW about greed and how so many of us in the population are driven by the receptors of greed. And so it becomes a loop of, I need this, I have to have it, I get this, it doesn't satisfy me, I need more, I need more, I need more. And that's how we have been raised in this, in this country. That's how I was raised. That's how the TV propaganda pushes us. We're consumers, consume, right? So we always want more than absolutely what we need.
So we're part of the problem, but we've been
are.
socially conditioned to be that way, but come on, we need to grow up a little bit emotionally and mentally. With the Great Reset going on, I think that will wake us up. And you have
more equal societies are happier societies.
Yes. And I'm starting to snip at the heels of some of these guys myself. We have a Kit Cabello clip here, and I want to say that a week from Thursday, Shanda is going to be on Hardlands Media, so we will promote that and check it out. What has Kit got to say here? Is he talking about?
They're talking about the filibuster, but I just love what Daniel had to say on it. Daniel cracks me up. I mean, Kit cracks me up too, but Daniel was really funny on this.
All right, let's check it out.
So shut up. Let's hear it from them.
Dynamics that we haven't focused on that much yet is the impatience among progressives in the Senate about this, about how far they're willing to go to work with Republicans. Jeff Merkley, senator from Oregon, was on our show yesterday, and we put up the picture of the 16 senators who are going to meet with Brian Deese over the weekend to try to hammer out some agreement on the $1.9 trillion in the relief package. And the first thing Merkley said is, there's no progressives here. That's all centrists. And I'm not sure I like the idea that this new White House is going to say, hey, we're just going to work with the middle.
I think that's a really important point. I mean, Biden is very focused on the middle, but the reality is that the Democratic Party is quite divided, and he does need to take care of liberals and progressives. There was something of a truce during the general election where liberals, Biden was not their first choice, and liberals said, look, you're certainly better for us than Donald Trump, so we're not going to keep taking shots at you throughout this general election. That's going to change if they feel like their agenda is getting left on the sidelines, if they feel like Biden isn't going far enough. He is going to hear from them. So yes, he does need to focus on the middle because that's how he's going to pull some Republicans over into his corner, but that doesn't do him a lot of good if he loses Democrats on the other end of the spectrum.
Well, as Joe Biden would say, screw off, I don't care about you, lefties. I think he didn't use those exact words. I think there was a come on, Jack, somewhere in there, and there's slightly different.
I have no empathy for millennials.
I have no empathy for millennials is another good way to put it.
Yep.
But
or you should vote for Trump.
This is funny. Yeah, or you should tell people they should vote for Trump and then yelling at them if they vote, and calling them bad people if they. Anyway, there's no winning in this, and I'm tired of not winning.
That's right. I'm tired of not winning too.
We all are, but what are we going to do?
We're not going to roll over and take it from the middle, from the moderates. I love that Merkley pointed out there was no progressives there, but I've booed Merkley to his face because as much as he likes to think he's a progressive, he swirls his toe in that neoliberal pond way too much.
Yeah, they play in that pool and then they pee on all of us. So, Stevie, what would you do? What would you do, Stevie?
Was there truths? There was no truths.
Sorry, I'm having some malfunctions over here.
Yeah, I see her audio clicking in and out.
Yeah, it's clicking in and out.
Yeah, I love how they say that there was a truce during the general. No,
Yeah,
there wasn't
there
a
was
truce.
no
We were
truce.
just told to fall in line and vote because TDS was going to ruin the world.
Yeah. Are you back, Stevie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got my son here today, so.
Hi.
Being a son. Yeah.
No, not right now.
Mama's busy saving the world for him.
Yes. I told him, I said, there's mom mode and then there's this mode. So, yeah, I'm trying to do both at the same time. But anyway.
My ears kind of turned off a little bit in that last clip when I heard centrist, though.
Yeah, I know.
What does that mean?
It means Republican to me. I don't.
Yeah.
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 I mean, I don't know the difference between centrist, Republican, Democrat. They all do the
Moderate,
same thing.
middle, yeah.
They're all
Whatever you wanna label yourself.
Yeah, they're all
Progressive even.
Yeah, they're all neocons, and I think
Exactly.
isn't I don't know, shit libs and neocons, or they're all the same or whatever. I mean, these labels are crazy. It's just the club fed, I guess. I don't know. It's a
money machine.
Money machine. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, Keith, I think that's right. They're working for the money. We see this with AOC and much of the squad. Shanda coined this, the reality TV progressives that should stick forever. And sure, I'm going to compliment them when they do something right, but I haven't seen a lot of right yet. I've seen a lot of dancing around, impeach Trump and take back the Senate and all this other crap. But when when we're in the middle of a pandemic and we're going to ram this through, and we can't even get a universal, fully funded healthcare plan, we have a failed government, period. This is a war on life in this country with this pandemic, no matter how you feel about it, because it affects everything from the economy to deaths in the family to future generations, all of it. So this is just bullcrap. We don't have representation in our government. So anyway, let's move on. You brought another meme here.
Oh yeah, this is a cute little meme that says, "We did a great job," and said, "Our foreign policy has made the world a safer place." Iraq, Syria, and Libya, all failed states, or fragile, if you insist on quibbling.
I would say that they need a half a ring on each hand, and in the middle it needs to have a starburst of Russia coming out of the thing.
Right?
When they click those two rings together, Russia
comes out.
Russia comes out. You know, that's what they need to do. That's my superhero thing, and that you have
things are going on there right now. You know.
Yeah,
Navalny.
Yeah.
It's funny. Funny. It's funny to me. I mean, I won't say what's going on over there. I don't really know, but just the timing of Biden getting in, and we knew that Russia was going to be up there, target number one.
Oh yeah.
And it's taken 3 days, or
Well, yeah, and
happened already.
Convo Couch did a great piece on the am I pronouncing it right? Navalny? Is that what it is? I watched that piece on Convo Couch because they really covered it with Mark Swoboda. You think it was yesterday, and
it was yesterday morning. Yeah, it was a great interview.
Yeah, and these are right wingers on the level of. Did you get this, Shannon? On the level of the Juan Guaido faction, and
worse. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to, because I think Pasta and Fee emphasized it was 10,000 or tens of thousands, and they've got 143 million people over there. So, hello, this is just one more piece of red meat that the U.S. and the CIA can propagandize against Russia. And we're not promoting Putin, but this is the problem.
It's the Russian people don't support this guy.
They don't support. And for the Biden administration to even make overtures about Juan Guaido being the legitimate president, are you kidding me? So it's more the same. Enjoy. Eat your shit sandwich and like it. What do we have? More pipeline news?
Okay, so as you know, I live close to Canada. I can see Canada on a clear day, and so I get a lot of Canadian news. As you know, Biden pulled us out of the Keystone Pipeline just this week, and this is a 5-hour Parliament session from Canada yesterday, and it blew my mind the first 2 minutes of it. So I'm only bringing 2 minutes of it, but they literally were arguing about how bad America is screwing them by canceling this pipeline for 5 hours.
Oh my God. Shall I get out my violin?
Oh, it's going to shock you.
I'm here today for thousands of Canadian oil and gas workers, thousands of Canadian families.
Here you go. Here's my response.
By the decision of the new U.S. administration. Thousands of Canadians who work hard for their family. They are losing their jobs as a result of the first decision by the new U.S. president at a time where thousands have already lost their jobs in this pandemic. And they have health care. I'm here today for the 5 First Nations in Alberta and in Saskatchewan that are seeing their equity investment in the Keystone XL project evaporate because of the inaction of this government. These First Nations who are seeing their plans for their youth, for their citizens.
Oh, this is disgusting.
Evaporate because of inaction by this government.
Yeah, it's these First Nations who we're going to poison the hell out of their aquifers and destroy the planet because we need a few temporary jobs over the course of a couple of years. So screw the planet, screw the people, but we want our jobs.
It was shocking to me. I was like, what do you mean he's representing the 5 nations? Why the hell are the 5 nations even involved in this shit? Well, because they stole their land. They stole their future and told them, these are the crumbs you're going to take. These are your investments to make your money. Oh, but now you're not going to make any money. So, shocking.
Shocking.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, go ahead.
First, weren't the what they call the national, they're First Nations, whatever, they're natives, right?
Yeah.
Weren't they blocking like a oil train like a few months ago?
Right.
I mean,
I'm so
that's not
confused.
exactly. Yeah, isn't that like being on the other side?
Well, that guy was a flim flam man. Now, Stevie, you've had first view of what they did in West Virginia, taking the mountains down and stuff. What were you going to say in relation to this?
Oh, I mean, I would dare him to actually bring the people that he's actually fighting for, supposedly, have them come up there and tell them what they want. Because I guarantee you it has nothing to do with what he's saying. And even if there are people that want those jobs, it's because they're forced into those jobs. Just like what we see here is they tell us they don't let any other economies come in here. I mean, that's it. It's either coal or fracking. That's it. You don't get anything else. And so there's people that fight to protect those jobs, not because that was their dream when they were growing up, that they wanted to go work and die in a coal mine. It's because that's the only option they were given.
That's all they've got. Yeah, I agree.
So that's why they do it. And it poisons the people. There's so much cancer. It devastates the land. It's blighted. It's a
blighted,
hellscape.
literally. You're exactly right. We're having that
And
same.
it's not in his backyard.
Yeah.
It's in poor people's backyard.
He'll be in his
We're the
ivory
ones that
tower.
end up with cancer.
Yep.
Our kids are with cancer.
Yep.
I had at least 3 kids die from cancer that I went to school with. That's not normal. That's not normal.
Right.
No.
So I live close to a lot of tribes. I have 5 native tribes just locally by me. And I hate to say it, but in the last 10 years, I have really seen them coming hand in hand with capitalism, getting in bed with the white guy. And they're doing a lot of things that really go against everything I knew Native Americans to support. And it makes me sad. And it's not them, it's not the people, it's the leaderships of these tribes that are getting in there and sitting in these chairs that are making these executive decisions, just like we see with the unions. And it's so saddening to see.
It's the same as a labor organization. A labor organization doesn't represent their membership base. I wanted to get that clear. I mean, it's, just all of them. The labor organization bosses have been making millions of dollars in compensation representing their labor, and this is labor's fault for allowing these pieces of shit to represent them, because they're not representing them, they're representing their own personal gains. And I'll even say that about Trumpka. So here's the thing. We've got this going on, and we have to start talking to labor, because labor, the Democrats have flushed you down the toilet since the 90s, and NAFTA, the Republicans, of course, always do. We have to start reaching across aisles and lines and figuring out how we can go together without destroying the planet, poisoning the water table, killing off species right and left. That clip just pissed me off.
I know.
Shannon.
I came across that last and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, here, I want to make Oz's Bay. Here, let's just bring that up. God, oh my God, here we go. We got another meme here, Marty McFly.
This one's called End Cronyism and Take Back Your Fucking Rights. Oh, I guess you ain't ready for that yet.
Yeah, I guess you guys aren't ready. That's a great meme. So true, so true. And we are getting ready for that, because we're losing our jobs, we're losing our health, we're losing our families, everything. We're losing everything. And we're letting these smug sons of bitches like Chuck Schumer, bullshit us on the floor of the Senate, and they're getting away with it. We're letting the likes of Annette Cleveland stop for us from getting our whole Washington health care plan brought to the floor. Your states, a lot of the states have similar things. Don't let these state senators and representatives take this away from you. Get in their face, get in the meetings, and shout them down. Tell them what you want them to do.
Well, that reminds me, Annette Cleveland has a town hall tonight. All of you Washington folks that want to crash it and demand Medicare for all whole Washington, look for the links. I'm sure it'll be moving around Facebook.
Oh, God, you get that link, Shanda. You better send it to me first.
Oh, Amber's sending it to me. I already promised Amber.
I want to be there, and I will bring in 5 instances of Oz. I'll bring in Dorothy and Toto.
We're gonna
too.
troll her. I trolled her in front of the Capitol last year.
Yeah,
so
I mean, these people not only need to be forced to do the right thing, but on the next cycle or sooner, get them out. Get them out. And you do that by exposing their corruption. All right, where are we at now? Are we at...
we are at the Hypocrite of the Week nominee.
Hypocrite of the Week nominee. Okay.
So we're going to nominate hypocrites all week, and then Friday we will pick our Hypocrite of the Week.
All right.
So this is my nominee pick for the week, and it's Thom Hartmann.
Oh, you're going to kill me with this.
These are real quotes from the Washington Post about the deadly Capitol Hill riot, basically undermining its danger. Why is the press not using their teeth on this issue? Check this out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. So, as I was saying, this is insane. Here's a couple of actual quotes from the Washington Post. They're saying that some of these people are, quote, lesser offenders, and, quote, most of those arrested so far have no criminal records. You know, there's a first time for everything, right? Not to mention the Post article adds, there's also a question over whether charging all the rioters could swamp the federal court system. Then maybe we need to bring in some temporary judges from elsewhere.
Is this sort of real?
I mean, in 1865, when we had an actual coup against the United States government and Abraham Lincoln was assassinated and a slaveholder, Andrew Johnson, was put in as president to blow up basically the results of the Civil War. And he set us down that course. They hanged 4 of the participants. Now, I'm not advocating the death penalty for anybody here, but
sure you are.
know, they took it seriously.
Sure you are.
Samuel Arnold, Dr. Samuel Mudd, and Michael O'Flaughlin received life sentences of hard labor. Edmund Spangler got a 6-year sentence. John Wilkes Booth was chased into a burning barn where he was shot. Remember when Roy Cohn was leading the charge, Donald Trump's lawyer was leading the charge to put Ethel and Julius Rosenberg in the electric chair? And he succeeded, even though there was virtually no evidence against Ethel. She apparently had no idea what her husband was up to. George Washington put down an insurrection on horseback as president. Abraham Lincoln fought a bloody war against insurrections. We deal with traitors in this country.
That's right. We deal with traitors in this country. Hypocrite of the Week.
Wow. Thom Hartmann, TDS sufferer extraordinaire. So don't we have laws, and aren't they being prosecuted under the laws for vandalism and everything else? What is he talking about? And he's using the CIA Washington Post as his reference? Is that correct? Yeah.
I think he's being a little tongue-in-cheek, though, you know?
God, I hope so.
The fact is, the whole world, the whole world watched this. You know, the whole world watched it, and they saw, you know, white people being treated very well, and they know damn well if there was like a Black Lives Matter situation storming the Capitol, they would have got their heads beat in.
Bingo.
There would have been 50 dead. You know, I'll say it. And so I think that Tom's doing a little of that, you know.
Stevie, what do you think?
See, I have personal experience with Thom Hartmann's hypocrisy because I called into his show one time, and this is like right when this was years ago. It was back when I was like finding out like the Democratic Party is like garbage.
Right.
And so I called in his show because my governor at the time was a Democrat, and all the things that he was talking about Trump doing, my governor was doing. Getting rich because he owns all this, you know, real estate and hotels and things, and he was using his office to promote, you know, travel and stuff so he could get richer. He wanted to put more money into timber and coal, which is both of the things that he owns. So I called into the show, and he started making excuses for him because he was a Democrat. But Trump's the bad guy, even though my governor was doing the exact same thing.
Right, TDS.
Yeah, TDS. And Hartmann's been TDS, whether he's willing to admit it or not. Like many of our associates out there, they're just poo-pooing, oh, there's no such thing as TDS. Bullshit. Hartmann has been Trump ever since 2016. And, you know, I'm all for nuance, but get a little more in there. I've talked to Tom on his show. I've been a caller like everybody else. As a matter of fact, he used to do lunch with Bernie, and that's where I actually got to ask Bernie Sanders questions before. And I'm going to toot my horn. In the one question, the last time I talked to Bernie on his show, all I got for 3 times, and I kept the recording, Oz is right, Oz is right, Oz is right.
I could hear Bernie saying that.
And that was really nice because, you know, I was not kissing Bernie's ass. I was asking him questions to make points. And this is why journalists or analysts like Tom Hartman, who I don't question his understanding or his knowledge of history, but when he gets TDS so bad that he gets myopic and starts going after Trump, 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 he's missing all the things that he has talked about before. And he's, frankly, that's what I believe Shanda says he's a hypocrite for.
He is a hypocrite.
So anyway, I that was great. I would vote for him. What do you got here? What's this one?
Oh, so Google suspended donations to lawmakers who voted against the certification of the election. So now they're directly controlling if you can fundraise on their platforms if they don't like what you're saying.
Okay, but that doesn't rule out all the dark money that they can send to these.
Oh no, they can still get the dark money.
Yeah, I mean that's the dinner party money where they just slip the envelope over the table. No shit. Dark money is how the Democratic Party runs these days because they can't be transparent. So I would like to see the real books.
It's called tweedism, I've learned.
Tweedism.
I was watching a video about a week ago. You know, see that part of what's wrong in America is the people don't pick the candidates.
That's right.
You know, we think we vote for them, but we don't pick them. So
we don't even vote for them.
Yeah, that's
as evidenced by Bernie's being taken out.
So, Stevie, how does Joe Manchin get his money? I would think that you guys wouldn't give him a damn dime.
We usually don't. He makes his money off of
Raytheon, coal.
Raytheon, also pharmaceutical industry, which, I mean, he's making double the money because not only is his daughter, Heather Bresch, the one that jacked the price of EpiPens up, but he also gets money from those same corporations to keep him in office.
Yeah, that incestuous shit. If it's not them, it's Hunter Biden or it's Manchin's daughter. It's all incestuous crap. And that's how they get their money. Somebody's going to get their palm greased up or down the ladder. And, you know, I'm thinking this Hunter Biden thing should be the new Russiagate because it'll actually be true. I don't know. We'll see. We've got a Wipey Award here today. Is this a gold Wipey Award or what?
The Gold Wipey Award. So this goes to Brianna Joy Gray, who I got to say, Bree is killing it lately. She says, breaking, the Biden administration just announced that Harriet Tubman will replace Andrew Jackson on the $20 bill. Brianna Joy Gray says putting a black woman on money to distract from the fact that you aren't giving black people money is peak Democratic Party neoliberal bullcrap.
God, Shanda, you and I, once again, I was looking at that last night and I was going to put that on the Wipey Award. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, let's the one I saw after that was, Biden wants to put Harriet Tubman on a $14 bill. I'm going,
Oh, she nailed it.
Yeah, she did. She sure the heck did. And I want to shout out again to our guests last night, Jackson Hinkle and Fiorella Isabella.
Behind that.
Yeah, on the Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. At one point, I was going to buy a rubber stamp and start stamping all my bills with her face on it, but it was a sold out. So
who stopped that? Was that the Bush administration? They were going to put her on that, and then they kicked it off.
It was.
It wasn't Obama.
I can't say his name right. No, it was It was under Trump. It was
Mnuchin.
Steve Mnuchin. Yeah.
Mnuchin. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. What was the point? They did wanted to do it, or they didn't want to do it.
Obama had put it in, and it had been passed, and it was all going to happen.
That's right.
And then Mnuchin shut it down.
Okay.
So there's a little history, though. I really like what Brianna said there. She's been hitting it out of the park lately.
Oh yeah, and if you get a chance, watch Bad Faith podcast. I mean, that Sam Cedar train wreck debate that was great. Yeah, that was a great train wreck. Keith, you're lagging a lot right there, so that's why I keep cutting you off. I apologize. Let me see. Okay. We've got Fee Says right here, Shanda.
Fee Says. So this isn't an actual Fee Says, but Fee posted this on her page, and I found it relatable. So Fee says, it's a revolution, so revolt. Who the fuck is asking y'all to align with supremacists, Nazis, and fascists, etc.? Stop pushing the stupid ass narrative. Everybody on the right is not a damn fascist. You don't have to invite them to a cookout, goddammit. Just force the government not to do dumb shit.
Yeah, you think? Isn't that the way to go? I mean, once again, we have to figure out how to talk to the other side. And I know this is in relation to the Boogaloo interview that Jimmy made and Combo Couch. We agree with them talking to those people. Sorry, we think we should be talking to everybody, because when you don't talk to the opposition, particularly in times of war, more people are going to die. And we have a war going on right now with the pandemic, the economy, and everything else. We need to talk to all sides of this and start unifying. Otherwise, we're going to lose. What else do we got? Is that it?
Yeah,
that's it. That's the show.
Go ahead, Keith.
Got to work together.
Yeah, we have to work.
No, we got to work together. You say it. I mean, if you really want change, everybody's got to be involved in it. You just don't want to fix a problem, then have things go back to the way they were. The whole community has got to understand things.
Yeah.
So you got to talk to the other side.
Stevie, you have last say here.
And the other thing about it too is, okay.
Go ahead.
Good.
Go ahead. Finish, Keith. Like I said, you're lagging.
Yeah. The other thing too here is I've been kind of just like looking at democracy lately as a personal project and writing a little bit about it here. And so I've been looking at the history of political parties, and they change over time.
Yeah.
So
they flip polls.
Everything Republican is not bad. But it's sort of like the modern ones are. They're devious. I won't say what the next word I want to say is. So I'll leave it there.
All right.
Yeah.
Stevie?
We got to work together.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point, because that's why we started nonpartyvoters.org, because every party gets corrupted at some point. It changes. It's better just to take that power back and not put it in the hands of somebody that could change and flip on you. So, but yeah, as far as uniting, nobody wants to unite with Nazis or fascists.
Right.
But what we're talking about is what Bernie Sanders did back in 2016, which was coming to the southern states. He came to West Virginia. He listened to us. He didn't lie to us. He didn't say, well, I'm going to bring back coal. He said, look, it ain't coming back, but I got a plan, but he listened, and then he was honest, and he talked to us. And that is so critical. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, we voted for Trump here, but I agree with the people here about not going into endless wars and getting the money out of politics. Like we agree on a lot of the core issues, healthcare. I mean, a living wage. They call themselves Republicans, but you know what? I mean, we can still agree on stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I took the journey for Bernie in 2016. As a Bernie delegate, I drove from Seattle to Philadelphia. And along the way, I talked to so many, quote, Republicans that wanted to vote for Trump, but said, hey, I really like what Bernie's saying. He's saying, anti-war message. He's saying, all of the things we like to hear. And so we have so much more in common with these everyday Americans than we don't. And just to label them and to throw the whole party away, this is just closed-minded and more divisive to our country. Absolutely.
Abso-frickin-lutely. I want to thank our panelists today. Stevie, Redneckonomics.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this is great. Stevie, when's your next show?
I'm probably going to do one tomorrow night.
All right, great. Sounds good. About what time?
Probably Probably around like 9 or 10.
All right.
Just like look for the notification.
Yeah, that's that's I turn into dust at that time of night. So
yeah, we know. Hey, chat, we haven't been very interactive today. It's kind of harder when we have a big panel to interact so much with all the chats. But I see you, Cheese Man. I agree. Street racing needs to stop, and the cops need better training. Hey, Jilly, Human, glad to see you in here.
Yeah.
We've also got Karen Daly. How come? Serious.
We got
then over at the Salt Laker, we got Monatox.
Blake TV.
I thought you
Blake.
were live.
Hey, Blake.
I thought you were live. I saw BNA going live this morning.
Hi, Monotalk. And yeah, we got.
Hey, Sandy.
And Sandy's over there. Hey, Sandy. Check out the Environmental Coffee House. Sandy is on the cutting edge of environmental issues. She has great guests. Thank you so much. Book Hermit. Yeah, who else we got over there? We have quite a few people over there.
Yeah, there's quite a few over there.
Yeah, and I believe Chris is doing a show Wednesday. So the Natural Progressive, I believe, is going to do a Women's Wednesday. I will get it confirmed this afternoon. That's tomorrow. I'm a day ahead here. Mona Modbot. Mona, we need to get you on. Come on, Mona. Yeah, we've got. I will send out her another invite, and we hope we can get Stevie and Keith back on soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We're going to try and do these panels on Tuesday for the most part, but Shanda, do you have a show this week, or is it Amber?
Do I have a show this week? I am working on building an accidental activist with Fiorella Isabel from the Convo Couch, and then I'm going to get Pasta on there too, so I got a lot going on there. We've got a Beauty and the Boomer lined up for Saturday night, and Amber and I are doing a healthcare workshop on Saturday morning, how to tell your healthcare story. So we make our presentations a little more powerful when we're coming at these people for Medicare for All. What else do we got lined up? There's so much going on this week.
Yeah, it's busy. But I want to say again, last night we talked about it with Jackson and Fee, is if you're interested in getting into doing your own vlog or podcast or whatever, come on over to Roar Media. We are led mostly by women. We have a board. We've almost got the board done. It's going to be female-driven, people of color and identity. So we'll help you out, get started, and do whatever we can to get your voice out there too. And that's just what we're doing at Roar Media. We can put you on Rockfin, and when you get to the point where you want your own channel, you just talk to Scott and Hammy over there on Rockfin and get your own channel. So yeah, anyway, it's been fun. And what are we going out with here, Shanda?
This is a Here Comes the Sun cover.
Oh, good. It's not where I love these covers because we haven't been punked in the last week, and I just jinxed us for today. Anyway,
yeah, you did. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Have a great one.
Great day.
And we'll see you tomorrow morning, Women's Wednesday.
Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I said it's alright. Little darling, you'll see the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I said it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Little darling, I see the
ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I said it's alright, it's alright, it's alright.